Today's lesson is Naomi Osaka, hard-hitting and humble.
Hello, my name is Helen.
And I'm Roger.
And today we are talking about Naomi Osaka, hard-hitting and humble. We're looking at the career of this young tennis player and finding out a little bit about her character. And we've looked at her background and how her father has been a big motivator in her success and her interest in playing tennis. And now we look a little bit more at just how her career began and how she has reached her level of success.
That's right. So we talked about the fact that she's modest and humble, and she's a rising star in the world of women's tennis. She's the talk of the town since defeating Serena Williams. We also talked somewhat about her multicultural upbringing, or her multicultural background. Her father's Haitian, her mother's Japanese, but she spent most of her childhood in the United States, but she spoke a lot of languages as she was growing up, and because she has such a complex cultural background, it's hard to say which culture she identifies with. She just says, I just feel like me, and for us, that's good enough. Okay, let's begin our lesson now, everybody, by finding out some more about Naomi Osaka. Let's listen to the first part of our lesson right now.
At just 14 years old, Naomi started playing tennis professionally. With her powerful plays, she began climbing the ranks. The biggest milestone in Osaka's career so far came in 2018, when she beat her childhood idol, tennis legend Serena Williams, to win the US Open. She won her second Grand Slam title in January of this year at the Australian Open and became the first Asian player to ever be ranked as #1 in the world. According to her former coach, Sasha Bayin, when Osaka hits balls, they go like freaking rockets.
大家好，第一部分我们看到名词 milestone， 指里程碑、重大事件。例如 The band's Grammy nomination was a milestone for Asian musicians in America. 这个乐团在格莱美奖的提名对在美国的亚洲音乐家来说是很重要的里程碑。接着我们看到一个单字 idol， 这个字是名词，指偶像或是崇拜的人。像是 Brenda has posters of her pop idol all over her bedroom walls. Brenda 卧室的墙上贴满她流行偶像的海报。
Okay, here, the first sentence we have, at just 14 years old, Naomi started playing tennis professionally. So we find out that at the age of 14, she began playing tennis that is, in a way, that is connected to her career. So she no longer played tennis only as a hobby, but she started seeing the sport as a career.
Exactly. That's what happens when you're a professional. You start getting paid for playing a sport or being a musician or whatever. I'm a professional guitar player, maybe you could say. But here, please note that this word is being used as an adverb, professionally, because it's modifying the word play. She plays tennis professionally. In other words, she's a professional tennis player. She gets paid to play tennis. She gets paid to hit those little yellow balls back and forth across a net. And with her powerful plays, she began climbing the ranks. So in tennis, of course, each time you are involved with the ball, when somebody serves it, that is a play. So she's got these powerful plays, which refers to how she hits the ball, how she serves the ball, how she returns the ball. Those are all powerful. She has very powerful strokes. And because of that, she began climbing the ranks. A rank here is like the order of how good you are, if you're number 1, number 2, number 3, etc.
That's right. Especially in tennis, players are ranked. So more success you have, the more wins you have, the higher you go in the ranking. Rank here is really a position that compares you to the other players and shows just how good you are in relation to other players.
Right. And because tennis is a solo sport, with the exception of the doubles, but it's a solo sport, so of course the players are ranked. Now here in the next sentence, it says the biggest milestone in Osaka's career so far came in 2018, which is just last year, when she beat her childhood idol tennis legend Serena Williams. Of course, she's one of the Williams sisters. So let's take a look at this sentence as a whole here. It says here, the biggest milestone in Osaka's career so far came in 2018. So here, if you talk about a milestone, that's kind of like a marker or a certain degree of achievement.
Right. It makes you think of a road, and then walking down this road, you see a marker or something significant that tells you how much you have walked or how much you've achieved. And in fact, milestone is an event or an achievement that marks an important stage in a process. So for Osaka, the milestone in her career was defeating her childhood idol, Serena Williams, in 2018.
Okay, so in any case, here we've got milestone in her career. That was a big event in her career. She beat Serena Williams. Okay, and of course, it also describes Serena Williams as being Osaka's childhood idol.
That's right. So for her, beating Serena Williams wasn't just beating someone who was a very powerful player, who was top ranked, but it was beating her childhood idol, which made it all the more special.
Indeed, and of course we're describing Serena Williams as being a tennis legend, which means somebody's really famous and they're going to go down in history, and you can be a living legend as well. My goodness, Serena Williams has won so many titles, so of course she's famous now, but she's still playing, she's still going strong. She's a mother now too, so good on her, and she of course is a tennis legend. If you like women's tennis, you're going to have to know about Serena Williams whether you want to or not.
Right, and you have legends in other areas. It doesn't have to be sports. You have musical legends, artistic legends. For instance, Bob Dylan is a living legend in music.
Exactly, right. So Serena Williams, of course, is a living legend in tennis. I think her sister could be considered that as well, Venus Williams, too. And, of course, Osaka beat Williams in the U.S. Open last year. Now, here it goes on to say she won her second Grand Slam title in January of this year at the Australian Open and became the first Asian player to ever be ranked as #1 in the world. Osaka is ranked #1 now. She's the first one of Asian descent, and she got a Grand Slam title. Grand Slam, that's like one of those 4 major tournaments, right?
Right. The Grand Slam consists of 4 annual tournaments, including the Australian Open, the French Open, and also Wimbledon, and the last one is the U.S. Open, which happens in August, September.
Yes, and of course, if you win a tennis tournament like that, you win the title there, you win the championship. So, of course, that happened in January of this year. She won another Grand Slam, the Australian Open, and now she's ranked as #1 in the world. Now, according to her former coach, Sasha Bain, when Osaka hits balls, they go like freaking rockets. Ooh, that sounds pretty fast. Of course, a rocket, in order to get into space, needs to go really fast, and it's very powerful. And here, freaking is just a word that emphasizes the word rocket. Boy, it's so freaking hot today. I'm going to stay inside and turn on the AC.
Right, or I had a freaking great time last weekend at the beach.
Indeed. Okay, so indeed she hits the ball pretty hard and pretty fast. So her coach described her balls as being as fast as freaking rockets. Okay, let's move on now to the second part of our lesson. Let's listen first.
While Osaka's playing style is aggressive, her personality is far from it. She's earned a reputation for being unpretentious and sometimes awkward. In her speech after winning the Australian Open, she showed how humble she is by commending the other player and then thanking everyone who made the game possible, from her team and the spectators down to the ball kids. Osaka is also known for politely bowing to crowds, officials, and other players.
第二部分，我们看到片语 far from 表示一点也不，完全相反。这个片语后面可以接名词、动名词或是形容词。举例来说 We are far from finishing the project, so expect to have to work late tonight. 我们距离完成企划案还早得很，所以要有心理准备，今天晚上会加班到很晚。又或者说 This discussion is far from over. We'll talk again later. 这个讨论离结束还差得远，我们晚点再谈。再来，我们看到一个单字 unpretentious， 这个字是形容词，指不做作的、不炫耀的。像是 Mark is an unpretentious person. He will be as usual even if there's someone important near him. Mark 不做作，就算在很重要的人旁边，他也做自己。另外，去除 unpretentious 字首的 un， 则可以成为它的反义词，指虚伪的、造作的。我们可以说 The pretentious man who often referenced his personal achievements makes people don't want to be friends with him. 那名爱炫耀的男子常常提到个人成就，让人们不想跟他当朋友。接着我们看到动词 commend， 有赞扬、赞许的意思，常用 commend somebody for something， 指因为某事情称赞某人。例如说The teacher who introduces Linda to the research area commended her for her excellent job. Linda 在这个研究领域的启蒙老师称赞她的好表现。另外，在 commend 的字尾加上 able， 可以成为它的形容词 commendable， 指值得赞美的。所以可以说 Although it wasn't brilliant, I thought my son's presentation was at least commendable. 虽然还不完美，但我觉得我儿子的表现至少是值得赞美的。接下来我们看到单字 spectator， 这个字是名词，用来指观众。像是 Many spectators at the hockey game were dressed in their favorite team's color. 许多在曲棍球比赛的观众都穿着他们最喜欢的球队的代表颜色。另外，补充与 spectator 相关的单字 spectacle， S-P-E-C-T-A-C-L-E， 一样是名词，有壮观的场面、奇景的意思。所以我们可以说 The World Cup is one of the world's most popular sporting spectacle. 世界杯是世界上最壮观的场景之一。
Okay, let's talk about Naomi Osaka's playing style. Here it begins with the word while. While Osaka's playing style is aggressive, or yes, it is true that her playing style is aggressive, still, her personality is far from it. Here the phrase far from means not at all like that. So she is aggressive when she plays, but when you talk to her after the game, she's pretty laid back. Her personality is far from being aggressive. It's not at all aggressive.
Right. In fact, her personality is opposite of aggressive. She's earned a reputation for being unpretentious and sometimes awkward. Now here, reputation refers to a general opinion that someone or something has a particular quality. So I could say John has a reputation for being late all the time.
Oh, no, you don't want to hire John because he's always late. He has a bad reputation. That's how he's known by people. That's his reputation. So when people talk to her, when they interview her, they've discovered that, hey, she's unpretentious. She doesn't brag. She doesn't boast. She's actually quite unpretentious, kind of laid back, but also describes her as being somewhat awkward. If you're awkward, that means you kind of appear like you don't really know what you're doing. Like back in high school, I felt really awkward when I had to ask a girl to dance with me at the high school dance.
Right. An awkward person is usually somebody who doesn't like to be in social situations where they feel or seem uncomfortable in social situations, who lack grace in the way they interact with people. So people who are awkward are often shy people as well.
But I think this is probably just because she's kind of new being number one. She got to be number one pretty quickly here, so she's probably going to be awkward. But eventually, she'll be quite confident, although I'm pretty sure she's not going to be a braggart. She's going to continue to be unpretentious and humble and modest. That's just her personality. And in the next sentence here, it says, in her speech after winning the Australian Open, she showed how humble she is by commending the other player and then thanking everyone who made the game possible, from her team and the spectators down to the ball kids. Oh, isn't that nice? I think most players probably just take the ball kids for granted, but hey, Naomi made sure to thank them, so she showed her humility by commending the other player. So here we've got the word commending from the verb to commend, which means basically you praise someone else. You say how great they are.
Right, and so Osaka commended or praised her opponent, which is the person that she played against in a game or a competition. So an opponent can also be someone that you argue against or fight against. And she shows her humility and her grace by commending her opponent and then thanking everyone who made the game possible, from the spectators, who are members of the audience who are there to watch the game, down to the ball kids, who are the kids who pick up the balls when the balls go astray or when the balls hit a net. You have the kids run into the court, pick up the ball so that the game can continue.
Indeed. I like to watch the ball kids during tennis games. They're actually quite skillful there. But again, it just shows her humility here by thanking everybody on her team. She thanked her coach. She thanked the spectators, which refers to all the people there watching the tennis competition. Right on down to the ball kids. She thanked them as well. And here in the final sentence of the second part, it says, Osaka is also known for politely bowing to crowds, officials, and other players. That must be her Japanese side there. Don't the Japanese people like to bow a lot to each other?
That's right. Japanese people are very courteous and they care very much about what other people think and the impression that they make on other people, which may be a little bit unfamiliar in America. So maybe in the United States, when Osaka plays, people note her courtesy and her humility and the respect that she shows everyone, her opponent and the officials. But in Japanese society, maybe it's normal to be that way, and that's a part of her upbringing.
That's quite refreshing, actually. It kind of brings something new to the game of tennis. It's great that she's number one in the world now. Let's move on now to the third and final portion of our article for today. We'll listen to it first.
Osaka's talent, humility, and multicultural background have made her an inspiration for people around the world. With the Summer Olympics set to take place in Tokyo next year, we'll be seeing a lot more of this rising tennis star in the near future.
最后，第三部分我们看到名词 humility 有谦虚、谦逊的意思。举例来说 ，Even if you don't agree with John, you should show some humility and listen to what he has to say. 就算你不认同 John 的想法，你还是要表现出谦虚，并聆听他说的内容。
Okay, let's continue talking about our featured article for today. We are now in the third paragraph. So here it says, Osaka's talent, humility, and multicultural background have made her an inspiration for people around the world. So again, this is summarizing everything, of course. Everything that was mentioned earlier in the article kind of gets mentioned briefly at the end of the article. That's basically how you write these stories here. You have an introductory paragraph, and then you fill in all the information. And at the end, you kind of mention these things again briefly as part of your conclusion. So we're saying that she has this talent, that much is certain. She can certainly win these Grand Slam tournaments. She also has humility, which is the noun form of being humble. And we're also talking about her multicultural background. All these things have made her an inspiration for young tennis players worldwide. So remember earlier we did talk about the word inspire. So here inspiration is the noun. Who is your inspiration, we could say. How about you? Who's your inspiration, Helen?
My inspiration as a kid was probably Bob Dylan. He
Bob
was my
Dylan.
inspiration.
The famous American folk singer. He was an inspiration to you. So because of him, did you learn how to play the guitar and play the harmonica and things like that?
Not exactly, but because of him, because of his poetic lyrics, I was inspired to pay more attention to the use of English and how creative use can be beautiful.
Interesting. Well, Bob Dylan will have to be a subject for another lesson. But again, let's get back to who we're talking about here. Naomi, she's an inspiration for people around the world. And with the Summer Olympics set to take place in Tokyo next year, we'll be seeing a lot more of this rising tennis star in the near future. Yes, I believe she'll probably play Olympic tennis in the summer of 2020 in Tokyo there, but she's certainly going to be playing in those Grand Slam tournaments as well.
Right. It seems like she's going to have a very long career. She's likable, she's talented, she's a strong player, and she cares about the people, her fans, and all of the people involved in tennis. So it seems like she's going to have a pretty stunning career.
Does sound cool. I'd rather have her be number one than Sharapova. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第一部分的最后提到，大阪直美的前任教练说他击球的时候，球就像是火箭一样。他说 They go like freaking rockets。 好， freaking 在这边是当形容词用来加强语气。那其实在口语里面 freaking 可以当形容词或是副词来表达糟透的，或者是极为怎么样，非常怎么样。假设有人说 The trip was a freaking nightmare， 意思就是说那趟旅程简直是场噩梦。好，不过也有人会在发表生气言论的时候用到这个字，那就是比较不礼貌的用法哦。那我们接着顺便来学 freak 这个字的用法。好，第一个，用 freak 当名词可以用来表达怪人或是怪咖，意思就跟 weirdo 差不多。不过 freak 也可以用来指狂热者，热爱什么什么的人。像 a movie freak 不是电影怪咖，而是指电影迷。A fitness freak 表示热爱健身运动的人。好，第二种我们是把 freak 当形容词，用来表达反常的、怪异的或是稀奇的。那它的用法是要摆在要修饰的名词前面，像 a freak accident是用来表达离奇古怪的意外事故。好，第三种我们把 freak 当动词用，这时候它常常会跟 out 一起连用。那有分及物跟不及物用法，它可以表达说因为某事物很反常怪异而被吓到啊，吓坏了。那也可以表达因为惊讶、生气、害怕或是兴奋等等的情绪而感到非常激动。像是 the news freaked her out， 意思就是说那个消息把她给吓坏了。那当我们对别人说 don't freak out， 就是说别惊慌，别着急。好，接着读到课文第二部分的第一句，他说 While Osaka's playing style is aggressive, her personality is far from it。 尽管大阪直美的球风很有侵略性，但她的性格却完全不是如此。好，这边我们来学 be far from 的用法。第一种呢，是表达距离上远离什么什么，像是 The shopping mall is far from here， 就是说那间购物中心离这里很远。好，第二种是表达一点也不、绝不或是完全相反，那这时候它的意思就跟 not at all 差不多。Far from 的后面呢，你可以接名词、动名词或是形容词。假设我们说 The exam was far from easy， 就是说那个考试一点都不简单，它很困难。另外我们还可以用 far from it 来表达绝非如此，没有的事。假设有人问你说那部电影会很令人失望吗？如果你回答 far from it， 意思就是完全相反，它非常好看。好，以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天的单字吧。
Professionally. For Georgia, acting isn't just a hobby. She wants to do it professionally. Milestone. The scientist told reporters that winning a prize for her research was a major milestone in her career. Idol. Stephen Hawking is Kara's idol because the brilliant physicist never let his disease interfere with his work. Reputation. My boss has a reputation for being demanding, but she's also quick to give praise for a job well done. Awkward. Philip often feels awkward when he first meets someone, but he relaxes as he gets to know the person. Spectator. The spectators went crazy as the home team scored the winning point of the game.
Discussion starter starts now!
Okay, here's our discussion starter for today. What do you think of the difference between Osaka's personality and her playing style?
Well, it's really refreshing to see a player who is humble and who doesn't brag about her own achievements.
Right, well, I think her humility and modesty is unusual in the sports world because, hey, when people become champions, they let it go to their head and they just brag about themselves endlessly. It's nice to see someone who's so humble. It is really a breath of fresh air. Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Roger.
I'm Helen.
See you next time.